Metaphor.
That's what they pay us to do.
ReFantazio. Out tomorrow when we're recording this, or actually a couple of hours from now. I've been playing. Damiani's been playing. I don't know if any of you guys hopped into the demo. That's just the beginning of the game.
No, I'm waiting.
That's like 12 hours at the beginning of the game.
I didn't have time. It's Dodgers playoffs.
Yeah. Damiani, how much have you got to play?
I've played 25 hours.
Nice. I'm a little over 15. So basically, if you did play the demo, the dungeon that you start at the end of the demo, I've finished that dungeon, and I'm a little bit further after that.
Can you tell me? Because I don't think it's. I mean, I'm not going to be talking about like story stuff other than a premise thing. Is it the massive ass dungeon?
It's the one that it took me 3 days to go through.
Okay.
Yeah,
Jesus.
and I did the optional.
So you got to experience that because that is. I will say
days.
this. I'm doing my Huber thing again. I thought everything I've played of this game pretty much has been like fantastic. I really love what they're doing. It's basically the Persona 5 blueprint, but they trimmed out a lot of the FOMO of the time management. It's still there. It still exists. But like it plays more into, and the social bond system plays way more into RPG systems and other types of like RPG quest stuff and like job systems. It's like way more impactful and meaningful. It's not just like narrative and character building. They actually found a great way to do it. The one effing thing that's still there that I hate is what Blood just described. I hate those long ass dungeons that like you take like multiple hours to complete. You're not supposed to beat them in one day and in one in-game day, and you're like they drag out way too long. I've done 2 of them now. There are other dungeons in this game. They have mini dungeons. They have what I would call normal size dungeons, but like these massive dungeons, like I'm like after Persona 5 and this, I'm out on those. Like I do not ever want to see that again.
Foot down.
Like I understand why they do it, because like they're trying to create tension. It's like, yo, you only got like 12 days to complete this mission.
Dope.
And this dungeon like it's gonna take so long. And they did in Persona they did in Persona 5 as well. I see why they do it. I just don't like the dungeon execution, because what you're actually doing in the dungeon, it's the most grindy, like dungeon crawling-esque. It's not literally dungeon crawling, but it's the most dungeon crawling-esque element of the game. And it feels like it's a holdover. It doesn't work well. Where other dungeons in this game, they do like very good puzzles, good themes. Like there's some kind of like cool hook to it. And it doesn't need to be like multiple hours long.
But Damiani, I got a real question.
And I don't like that. So like everything else though, holy crap, this game blows me away.
For the long ones though, can you like do you unlock shortcuts?
Yeah. So there are shortcuts.
There? You head. That's so fun because you like do a big chunk. You go back to your base and you rest up for the next leg of
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's so
I
fun.
don't
That's a 10 out of 10.
That design. I don't like that design.
So basically,
I really don't like it.
When you get to a safe room, it's kind of Resident Evil style safe room.
Yeah.
You get in there and you can chill and talk and stuff. Then you can save in there, and then you can teleport back out. But then like that ends your day if you teleport out.
Got it.
But the thing that you really need that day ending for is your MP.
Yeah.
Persona, absolutely.
You basically only restore it by going and having a meal and going to bed.
Of course.
Because you can use items, but it's like you get like a little bit back. You get like 20 out of 300 MP, you know. And you really need to use your skills in order to fight the bigger enemies and bosses and stuff.
Definitely.
What I do feel like is an improvement, though, Damiani, is I feel like the design and like the little secret passages and stuff in these dungeons is better than before. I feel like they're a lot more engaging to go through.
There's more like stuff, and there's things you can totally miss puzzle wise. They also exist in the other smaller dungeons too. So I'm glad they're in there, but it's a pacing thing. I just don't like that type of pacing in like a dungeon like that.
I feel that
I'm not, especially when they're showing me a better way with like, in my opinion, I enjoy these other things. I'm like, there was a thing that you have to do it. It's required by the story to progress. I'm not even sure if the second part of this is required, actually. It kind of presented as optional, but I think you might have to do it. I think it was an illusion that you couldn't do it. And it's a significant story thing, but like there's the main overarching story, and to not spoil anything, like essentially you're in like a contest to see who's going to become the new king of the country. Basically, that's all I'll say. You're in this big like running, and there's other candidates and stuff, and you're vying for it, and it's like a popularity contest essentially. On your way across this journey to do this like tournament, you also make stops at other locations, and they have like their own like kind of like self-contained anthology like story, but they're very significant, and they also help develop the main story as well. They're not like completely side. They are directly related, but they also bring in a lot of like, it feels a little bit more self-contained. Those are like have dungeons in them as like a kind of like a main dungeon as well. One of them is like a whole sewer system thing, which has a boss, like a crazy boss thing that they're teasing, has like a stealth mechanic, has water lowering and raising mechanic, has secret passages, and it's like 1/5 or 1/4 the length of like the first big dungeon. And so I had so much fun with that dungeon and a few others like that. And I'm like, I just need this. It's too much. This is the thing, Huber. Like, we've gone back and forth on this. I think I get, like, obviously, when you enjoy something so much, you just never want it to end.
Yeah.
But, like, I love a lot of this. And then it's like the one thing I don't want is like I dread the main big dungeon thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God,
That's
here we go.
totally.
I just want to move past this so I can get to the rest of the good stuff, because there's so much good stuff in this game.
I feel like, when I totally get that when things drag on for too long, like completely different game, but we were just talking about it with Space Marine 2. Just the levels were so
Holy shit.
long. Even if you're not dying, the levels just drag on. And it's like, dude, the levels do not need to be this long. It just gets fatiguing.
Now, let's get to the positives.
Yeah.
But obviously, visuals. I joked about it some earlier episode of a podcast. Like, it's like the art style and the art direction just like carry these games. UI interface, like this, everything, every little detail in this game's UI and interface to the animations and comment, like it's just like top notch, like top shelf effort that like is fantastic. It's what you expect. It's like the Persona /SMT /Atlus pedigree, like the Studio Zero pedigree. This is exactly what you expect from them. And along with the soundtrack, man, and the voice work. Like the soundtrack just is phenomenal. Like it's doing crazy stuff. I'm just like, the battle theme, when that like
just
I don't
the normal
even know what
battle
language
theme
it
is so epic.
It's like dum, I'm like, I don't know what language it is. This is like insanely like intense, and it's like I never heard anything like this, and it's like fantastic. It just goes so
chanting,
well with
Huber.
Yeah, it's like aggressive hardcore chanting.
Duel
like
of the Fates.
Gregorian chant goes hard sometimes.
It's not Gregorian, but yeah.
I don't think
I'm
it's
just saying.
yeah. That's
I'm
the
just
thing.
saying.
I couldn't. Yeah,
I love chanting
but it's like
in
so
songs.
good. And then like they have every like I mean I can't wait for everyone else to hear it. And then like the story itself, like I won't get details. Like the characters are really good, their backstories are really good, their character development is really good, and how it all ties into like the gameplay. And there's just this is what I think like a lot of people are complaining about with like some other big name RPGs, that like they don't feel RPG enough.
Right.
Like this game is like, you want all this shit, it's all here. Like it's like everything you could possibly want. You got like so many different things, like, and then like the archetypes, the way that archetypes work. So Huber, I've been waiting. I was like imagining discussion. You asked me all these questions, but like I can just tell you this. I feel like would be like easier. So in like Persona, like you build those social relationships, and you have like I am thou art I, and like we unlock a new like social link.
Oh yeah,
and it enhances like a persona when they use fusing these personas, whatever. Now it's like when you get that, it unlocks new progression in your jobs. It's how you unlock the jobs.
That's better.
So every bond you form, every handshake you make, Huber, you know you're getting a new job at that point. Like, dude, what job am I getting? Yeah. And then fostering and nurturing that relationship, you unlock like the more advanced levels of those
so you go
jobs.
from like knight to paladin to whatever, based on the bond you have with the character that came from.
But also you need other requirements too. It's not just the bond levels. This is where like I think they go deep with RPG. You like one of them is like a magic knight. So what the default class is knight, and one of your earlier characters you meet will be default that. But to get the advanced one, not only does the social bond need to be high enough, they also have to have knight maxed out, and then like mage, the base caster one. They have to be at a certain level as well. So some of them have like rank requirements, job level requirements, and I think some of them have like question marks. I'm like, oh, I haven't even like figured it out.
Oh, okay, nice.
And so you're constantly seeking out like, and some of these are done through the main story, but some of them are like 2 of them I found were done through side quests. And I was like, oh, and I got a merchant. I have a merchant.
Yeah,
where it's
I got
like
merchant.
literally this increases my rewards and economy. Huber, you're gonna love it. The
Better be
economy,
good.
man, is
Persona's
tight,
fine.
rough, and like, oh yeah, you like
You don't
feel
really
like you're
need it in Persona.
struggling. Oh, I feel like you're struggling because like everything costs like upgrades, like
Love that.
gear, weapons, buying enough of like
Need that.
they don't even like sell the MP restoring stuff. It's like here's some HP and
Right.
like some ailment curing stuff, but like nope. And it's pricey, Huber.
Hell yeah.
But you have like merchant. There's a commander which improves like tactical
Wait,
stuff.
hang on before you move on to the commander stuff. So number 1 with merchant, the skills for merchant, and then skills with the brawler, they don't use MP. The merchant skills use gold.
Oh,
Yeah.
So like
I
every
refuse.
time you
Nope.
use that attack, it's 500
Huber
gold.
doesn't like-
I
When you
refuse.
use the combo attack, it's
But it costs so much.
I'm not giving it up.
It's a slot machine, Huber, with 777 gold
Shit.
to use that combo
Holy
attack.
shit.
But it gives you.
But it also gives you different rewards
That's awesome.
for having the
Yeah.
merchant.
That's
and
so
then the
cool.
brawler, their skills
yeah.
use HP. That you use your health to use your skills.
I love that.
Yeah.
Which is I like this because these all you can combine these, and there are certain situations where some of these are more advantageous.
Yeah.
So like for brawler, I changed my build to give accessories that did HP restoring.
Yeah.
Like on turns or whatever, so they can maintain their HP self-sustaining while doing these big
and then you
devastating
can also,
hits.
because it's a party-based RPG, you can have a brawler paired up with a healer, and that goes really well together.
Or you can inherit. So once you've like leveled up a job to a certain rank, you unlock new skills. You can then, if you switch to another job, any skill you've unlocked on any other active job on that character, you can pay. There's a currency called mag that you can spend to unlock new archetypes.
Massive
You
action
can also
game.
like inherit the skill
Yeah.
and use it on another job, and like you can mix and match. So like let's say you go brawler, and let's say I couldn't find any healing items. You can level up the healer class, get the healing, and then like I'm gonna give them like a heal ability as well or extra HP. Like one of the good ones is like here's an HP buff, like a percentage HP
Yeah.
increase. So it's like you have a larger HP pool. And there are other crazy jobs. The one I got that I've been experimenting with is called a faker. It's like dual wielding, like looks like a ninja, but it's not a ninja because there is already a rogue class the thief that's going to become samurai and ninja. And this is like about debuffing. This whole job is about like messing with enemy stats and debuffs, and it's a way, and it's like, yeah, it's high risk, but like might be necessary on some difficult bosses, ones that have like weird traits. Like let's say one has a reflect physical attack, but magic attacks also do barely any damage. It's like, and your regular spells won't undo their reflect ability. It's like, oh, Faker might have some of these debuffs that will like actually allow you to use physical attacks against them. So like they have these gimmicky type jobs as well, Huber, and everyone else there that they throw in that like I think, and you have up to 4 party members at a time, and you kind of can like mix and match, and then they have like team attacks, like
the team attacks are so sick. Because
this walking train boat thing is sick as shit.
Yeah,
That's your main
that's
thing.
your gauntlet runner. That's your
It's
home
your
base.
own
That's your base.
What?
That's your
it's not the only one.
So I haven't gotten to it yet. I'm just
God
can't wait till I get the
dang,
gauntlet
that thing
runner.
is cool as hell.
You have battles on them too.
Yeah.
I also like in town how that said like chat, murmur,
Yeah, you can
murmur.
see
That
the
was
stuff
cute.
when you walk by. People will like
Yeah.
say racist remarks while you walk by and stuff.
Racist remarks?
Yeah, there's a lot of that in this game.
It's a dark ass game. game.
The themes of this game are
very
fucking
dark.
sick.
Yeah.
Menu's crazy.
But anyway, so when he's talking about the combo attacks, the animations on these are so freaking sick, Huber.
bet,
You get
dude.
the knight riding in on a horse, jumps off, and then basically dragoons down on an enemy.
This menu art is
Oh yeah, the
gorgeous.
horse carriage
dude, best in
attack.
the biz.
Yeah,
Persona.
horse and carriage attacks
sure.
too.
You slam a horse carriage
Look at
into
this.
The what are the other type of things I wanted to jump in on there? So back to economy stuff. So
Most essential.
you get some of the weapons that you get have hidden stats that you have to go to a church and use this
Dragon Quest shit.
this
Diablo shit.
this holy water
Some
to
scroll
purify,
shit.
Yeah.
and then the weapons become really good freaking weapons.
Nice.
And then there are also you'll find rusted, beat up things that you have to go to a merchant to identify and appraise, and so you won't necessarily know what you're gonna get. It's almost like a little mystery box kind of weapon. And then there are shops right out the gate. There's oh, this thing's 50,000. I'm not gonna be able to buy that for a long time, and so you could kind of keep that in the back of your head of hold
Save
on
up.
to some cash.
There are shops that sell other things besides gear and weapons, ingredients, because there's a lot of
there's
side
cooking stuff.
Like Persona, there's a lot of different things you can do during your day. So, and some of those shops have they don't show everything that's for sale necessarily up front. So there's a little bit some of them might involve you needing to do a quest before they'll sell you something and it'll be unlocked. And then there's some shops that only show up at night because there is just like every Persona game, you have daytime activities, nighttime activities. And some of them, when you get the Guardian Runner, you can do stuff on the ship. You can do laundry, which I think increases MP. You can sweep up and clean, which permanently increases HP. There's a bath where you add salts to that will permanently increase other stats. And then there's the conversations. You have 5 or 6 attributes. With different levels, so you have imagination,
the kingly
courage,
thing,
and it looks like a crown that keeps extending. And you need those. Some of those you need to be high enough level to trigger something in the game, like a conversation choice. So you're not high enough level.
Tolerance,
you can't do that.
wisdom, imagination. There's 3 more.
Tolerance
Is there a
and
journal
elegance.
that keeps track of places and everything? Because Persona
it's
3
you really
fucking
have a
pisses
great
me
journal
off.
to dig into
Huber.
every time that actually
Thank God.
goes deeper into all
Persona
that stuff.
3 is a game I've been playing for 7 months, and every single time I come back to it, I'm like, who are these people? Where am I? What am I doing? I know nothing.
It's all there. You can
Thank
really dig
God.
in. Yeah.
Thank you.
They're quick access things too. When you're just in town, left on the D-pad will bring up all the people you have a social link with and take you right to them. You can just eventually you'll unlock teleportation, so you can just teleport to previous spots.
Great.
So you can just insta teleport to an NPC that you have a link with. You can bring up all your active quests, and some of them you still have to go to the Guardian Runner to plot a course on the map because you still have to physically get to any spot before you can use fast travel. And so you have to expend the days to get there. But some of them, if you already unlocked, you hit the bring up the quest, you can just fast travel right to the spot if you already have that unlocked. And some of these activities take time too, like planting seeds and all those I was saying take time. One of them, through one of the archetypes, I forget which one I did, I leveled it up. One of its skills was now planting seeds doesn't take, or cooking. There's cooking. Cooking no longer takes up time. You can infinite cook all you want without wait. I was like, oh crap. So I got to look more at these archetypes and see which one of them might unlock other things that won't take up time. So Huber, I'm talking to Huber so much because he's been playing Persona 3 and then playing a lot of them, and I'm
this
trying
has
to
been
get a
Goaty
good
Watch
frame
for
rate.
a
And
year.
and you're one of the biggest Persona 5 fans too. So I will say the FOMO. One of the biggest thing about these is FOMO with time management.
Yeah.
There's still a chaos there, a little to a certain degree, where I'm like, am I
What
gonna
do I
miss
do?
out? And they
Yeah.
will say, oh, there are certain quests that have a time limit, and if you don't do it, they're gone for good.
But you can see a
I will
calendar
say,
too.
Nice.
Yeah.
not even remotely close to approaching a deadline on any of those where I'm like, I'm gonna perma miss that.
Got it. So it's
but
a
I also
little
still
more
feel like
chill.
there's so much to do. I'm like, am I doing this correctly? Am I thinking about the min-maxing or just in general, should I be I've been very even about everything.
Yeah.
All my royal virtues are called those status attributes, so like tolerance and wisdom and imagination. I've been balancing those, kind of evenly to keep up with those, and I feel like I'm doing like a fine job. But like the decisions, you have the thing. Did I say the right thing to someone? You'll see the immediate like payoff with like things flying into your body, saying like 1, 2, or 3. But there's also choices with like story stuff. I'm like, it says, be careful with your words. I'm like, did I say the right thing? What is this going to impact? So it's also keeping you guessing, like whether or not you're going to do that. And Huber and Blood, you haven't gotten into this either. One thing I will like tease about like the second like major dungeon is that there's a lot of, it's like you got to plan a lot. When you go in, it's not a dungeon up front. I'll say that much. You have like the ability to walk around in it, and you have to plot a path for the day that you have to actually execute a mission.
Nice.
I was like, yo, okay, this is kind of cool. It's like,
I love time management.
I'm not actually like fighting crap on like until the day of. I'm like, I'm going in and doing reconnaissance. I'm like, this is like, so they kind of throw those curveballs at you. I feel like I've been they've pushed those expectations very well that way when it comes to dungeons and your main mission objectives.
Damiani, the optional dungeon, which I don't know how optional it is, but it seemed optional. The one that you do for the igniter merchant.
Yes.
So talking about throwing curveballs at you. So this is one of the fun things
we love curveballs
that they do
fastballs
to kind of like
sliders.
Push you to maybe use some, even early on, use some other archetypes that you might not be using yet. Is the enemies in this dungeon? They don't like the look of clubs or staffs or something like that. So you can't go in there with a mage or a healer. You have to use other.
So it's like optional trial challenges.
Here's the thing: you can, but when they see you,
they'll be enraged.
They get so mad they basically like one-shot your whole party.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
There's ways to. They even tell you. So there's informants who will sell you the tips about each
snitches
area.
Get stitches, dude.
But like you got to pay up, dude. It's economy.
Yeah.
It costs gold, man. So like, and some of them aren't the biggest revelations, but like one of the things I'm doing right now, it's like almost integral that you need to get them. Otherwise, you're just gonna I've gotten so many game overs in this on like boss fights that I walked into.
Do you ever die on regular enemies? They're always trash.
Oh no, I've died on a few. So one of the ones I got so pissed off in the first major dungeon, the big one I was complaining about. There's these ones that teleport around and like
the jellyfish.
I don't know if they're jellyfish. Maybe they are. I didn't have the right party comp for them, and they were annihilated. I was like having not really any trouble. I was burning through a lot of MP to like make progress, but like I wasn't really being under any threat of actually dying. These things were wrecking me.
That's excellent.
Yeah, so I was like, okay,
there's a lot of pushback.
Great.
It challenges you to have to go back and look at your archetypes, look at what skills you have, and I think they do a pretty good job of. If you need to switch it up, they give you some kind of you can change difficulty at any time. So either way, normal's the default one.
Yeah, it's 5 difficulties.
Got it.
Yeah, there's 5. Yeah, and you can at least on normal, and I believe on any easier mode. If you feel like you've screwed up in a battle, like you wasted too many items or consumables,
I love this.
You can just restart the whole battle again. It's like, I figured out a better way to do this. Let's just restart the battle. I don't want to get a game over.
That is friendly.
You have to go back to a checkpoint. Let's just restart this battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so basically it has kind of like a variation on the press turn system, which I don't think is really that much in Persona, but it's more of like in SMT5. So they're like these crystals that kind of determine how many turns that you have. And when you push into the weaknesses, then you basically are giving yourself more turns.
Persona.
Yeah. So
knock them down, get an extra attack.
Yeah, it's not exactly like that. It's but it works really well.
Nice.
And then the reverse is true that if somebody blocks a attack or repels it, then you lose turns. But you really have to push into learning weaknesses and taking advantage of that. But it works. Yeah, it works in a lot of different ways that I think plays out well.
I feel like that's a very punishing aspect, especially if you play on harder difficulties. Anything that a miss will cost you turn points or your turn, whereas like a block and a reflect can outright just one shot you. It's like, and then you lose your whole turn. It's like, yo, like you, like gathering intel. As I was saying, like those informants, they're so useful because they don't just tell you, they tell you about like the types of enemies and like they suggest stuff. But again, it's not the only way. Like Blood was talking about that enemy that enrages. If you have the knight and you do the, you have them level up enough, you can use an ability that draws all aggro to you so that they're going to attack you. And then you can do like this really strong defense that just like weathers those attacks. So you're basically just baiting every strong attack at them and they survive. While the other team, your mages and casters who have the weapons you're not supposed to be using, just go to town on it. So there are ways around like everything you come across, and whether it's straightforward or you like outthought it, which is like think why so many people are drawn to this type of
and you probably saw it in the B-roll, but the other cool thing with it is that like as you get stronger, then the trivial enemies, you just whack them as you're running around the dungeon.
Muso style, baby. It's like a Muso at that point. I went into a forest, a giant forest where like, you need to hunt this mark. And I'm like, it's all the way in the back. And I swear the layout of this map, I think it was a meme. It looked like OG Final Fantasy 1.0, the forest area where it's like copy paste corridors, but like a mini version of it. And it's a bunch of goblins in there. But I was so high level, I just, it's like a Muso game because they're in large groups. And I'm just like, yo. What's up? I think you're supposed to not be this high level. I think I was supposed to do this earlier where it's like, oh God, this is a struggle, man. I'm like, nah, this is cool. And you get EXP and everything for them. Like, you don't like, like it's still worth it
you
to
get
like,
bonus,
knock
EXP,
them out.
Well, you get bonus everything if you beat a standard battle without getting hit.
Fun.
That's so good. Yes. The bonus rewards. It just rewards you for being like good strategy, you have good strategy and intel. Yeah, you're gonna level up faster. You're gonna get way more gold. You're gonna get way more archetype experience points. And yeah, I like honestly, I'm like I'm just kind of like, other than that one road bump, 1.5 road bumps with the large dungeons, where I just don't like the pacing of that. I'm just so addicted to this game, and I'm seeing so much.
I'm probably
of
gonna go
Persona's
home and
DNA
play it till
in
like
this.
6 a.m.
Yeah, like Huber, you will. You honestly will, and be like, "Oh my god!" Like, it just sucks you in and doesn't let go.
You do need to like. You're in a new world, and so there's a lot of lore. So you do need to like be ready to like dive into the deep end of that.
It's so funny. It's like the difference of like,
but it's so good.
Maybe it's because of just the look, but obviously because of the creators. It's like, we talk about Unknown 9, and it's like, I don't want to do the homework.
Right.
Whereas it's something like this, and it's like, I'm looking forward to like learning everything.
Yeah. Like I want to learn about like where every type of race is from, and all of these different little nuances. Yeah.
If you wanted more, like something that was like same vein as Persona, like this is like I won't even say necessarily it's evolution. It's just trying to do something with the base modern Persona formula.
Well, for me, Damiani, I think one of the things that I like about it so much more than Persona and SMT is that I am not that big into collecting monsters. Like I don't like having to like constantly manage like how many monsters I have and each one of their level ups and all of that. It's like I don't hate it, but I do like the archetype job system more.
It's definitely a nice replacement to have the job system. There is, I will say, like, I mean, gear. I feel like there's a little bit more gear and accessories you have to manage. Maybe I'm wrong, but like it does feel like a little bit more. Just either as important or maybe more important, because when you change archetypes,
the gear is huge. Because the first time I went to that optional dungeon, I was like, I can't beat this boss. Like, there's no way. And then I went back out. I sold things that I had. I did the blessings and all that. And it's like, okay, I've got some good equipment now. I'm going back in.
You can't just like auto accept the suggested gear basically when you change jobs. You do need to go in and tweak some of your slots to like supplement the archetype you're on. It's very important. It never got really, honestly, it doesn't get that cumbersome because they have the filter options for each one. So it's like, oh, I'm on I want to be more tanky. Sort by defense. Give me something with defense, or give me something with like,
You're
which one
scaring
have,
me
like,
with how much loot there is.
There isn't that much actually,
Okay,
Huber.
good,
It's just
good.
you have so many different jobs, Huber. You have like maybe 3 or 4 weapons
Yeah.
that you'll come across over. Like I think I've like maybe 4 or 5 is the most weapons I've ever seen for one job through 25 hours. But like because I have like 20 different jobs at this
That's
point,
a
I
lot
feel
of
like
stuff coming.
it's like my weapon, but you could sort by archetype. So it's
Nice.
I'm only care about this archetype. Give me only the gear and shit that's related to this one. So they did a pretty good job, I think, with that. So like it does not become overwhelming. I have not felt overwhelmed by that. In the least bit whatsoever.
Sure.
But also like the setting. Like if you've been tired of like high school, being in like a high school and you don't
Never
really
tired of
relate to
high
high schoolers, here you go. It's like you have like something that's a little bit, I mean, I don't want to say mature because like, you know, the game's already dealing with darker and mature themes, period. All of these ones are. But like, I don't know, like just a different setting, different era, and like something a little bit more unique in that regard. I think this is probably a little bit more for you. And dialing it back so much on like the focus on like I have a social life and I must manage it. Like I might burn this relationship if I like. It's not about that. It's more about like what am I getting? Like what experience, what leveling, what like rewards am I getting by doing this instead of this? So it's like a different type, and I think it complements this type. Like it feels more like traditional. I don't know what to say. I don't want to say like traditional RPG, but it feels like more uniquely RPG than even like Persona to me. Like it has like an old school vibe, even though it's not quite old school. So like I kind of like that about it.
Huber, I got one more economy thing for you.
Love the economy.
With the calendar, I was telling Isla about this earlier. There's like they've got their own like week setup.
Yeah.
There's like Metals Day and Waters Day and whatever.
Yeah.
On Idles Day, IDLE, there's discounts at the shops.
Love that.
So
Discount.
if you
Always
make
forget-
sure
I
you're
always forget
in
what day it
town
is in
on
Persona.
Idles Day,
What was that? Is it Friday or Thursday night? And it's like, what is it?
go take advantage of some sales. And then the only last thing I'll say is just like some of the like turns that this story takes.
Let's not go there.
So far,
Game's not even
it's
out
just
yet.
like there's no. I'm just saying it's like they're not even like. I'm not even like talking about. I'm not gonna spoil or anything. It's just like
Now we
it
know
has
their
those
turn.
moments. It has those kinds of things where it's like I wasn't even thinking for this.
I'll
to
be looking out
anything
for it now,
other than
bud. Thanks.
straightforward,
Don't worry. I'll
you
be
know?
looking out for it. I'll be looking out for the heel turns, the
Yep.
betrayals.
Well,
I haven't seen anything of it called a betrayal or anything.
Huber, just like crazy situations. I think.
Yeah, I
Like,
think that's what it
spectacles.
comes down to. It's like,
Spectacle and like being
Expect the
keeping things
unexpected.
unexpected. Yeah, expect the unexpected.
Hell
You
yeah.
think
Joker.
you know what's going on.
I'm in
You think you're
animated
predicting
series.
things. They're like, nah, we got something for you. And also the Yankees just won, baby. That's cool.
Nice. Well done. Well done. Congrats.